Down 10, going into the fourth, just took a huge punch from them. How did you guys just collect yourselves after that happened?
The biggest point in all of this, and I talked to the team about it, is that just keeping God first in everything that we do, and giving Him the glory when we have an opportunity, especially on this platform. And that's what it was, just having faith in each other, staying connected, knowing that we took their best shot, and we're only down 10 or what have you points going into the fourth quarter. Guys just fought, and we're so proud of that type of effort, and that win tonight was big time.
The season as a whole has just been an insane ride. How good does it feel, in that room, knowing you're going to the playoffs after, the way things started and the things you've been through?
It's an unbelievable feeling. So grateful for Mrs. Benson and Griff and Trajan and Swin, our coaching staff, our medical team, our performance team, and then our guys. They're great. And that's how you withstand tough times, is with character. And we have extremely high character individuals in our organization, and it's been a joy to go at it with them.
Huge game from Larry, and a really big spot. Just what do you think about the way he battled tonight?
Larry was a monster, and we kind of figured it was going to be a Larry game the way they play. Ty Lue's adjustments is to go small, and Larry has the capability of guarding a number of perimeter guys. He's big, he's strong, he can rebound the ball. You guys saw it tonight. He had 16 rebounds. That was huge for us, and we don't win that game without his effort.
And last thing, I'm going to let these guys go, but Trey, you're telling him all season, shoot the ball, man, shoot the ball. It was nice to see him do that tonight and just look really composed up there.
It was awesome. I'm so happy for Trey Murphy. He has been just working all season long. Corey Brewer and Trey just been in the gym. Coach Spoon getting shots up, working on his game, watching film, and this is a preparation meets opportunity moment for us as a team, for me as a coach, for our staff, for our organization. It's what we talked about when I first got there. It's like we want to build something special. We want to build a sustainable program, and we feel like we're moving in the right direction.
All right, we'll go to Andrew Lopez on Zoom.
Hey, Willie. I know you talked about having to, tell Trey to shoot it all year. Did you have to tell him anything in that moment? It looked like he was kind of ready to throw it that as soon as you put him in.
I had to tell him don't shoot it a couple times, which I love. At the end of the game, he had a couple open looks. That time score situation, get the ball back to Brandon and get it to CJ, and then you probably get it again. But look, he did what we needed him to do. He came in the game. He shot the lights out. Herb, Jose, Trey, I'm playing 3 rookies on the floor, but it's a credit to them. They put the work in, and they earned this opportunity.
What was that like for you, just kind of going against Ty Lue and trying to match small for small, trying to, I'm going to bring JV in, I'm going to go to Tony Snell, I'm going to pull him, I'm going to go to Trey. What was that like for you trying to match wits with him in that moment?
It was like a heavyweight fight. Seriously. He was making adjustments. He took his bigs out. We were trying to adjust to them. It didn't work for us. We put our bigs back in. That didn't work for us either. And so we were throwing darts at the dartboard, just trying to figure it out. How can we find an environment that we can play in on both ends of the floor? Because they're tough. They're tough to match up with. Powell and Jackson and Morris, and those guys are really great individual players, and they played together. It was hard, but we just stayed with it, and that's the important thing. Stayed with it. We fought, rebounded the ball, we made some shots.
Last one for me. What did you see in Brandon to start the game? It seemed like he just had a different kind of look in his eye in that first quarter.
Brandon Ingram is the truth. He just brought it. And he had that look in his eye from the time we got on the plane. Shoot around, he's been locked in. He has been waiting for this moment, for this type of moment. His preparation is off the charts. This summer, he went 6-7 hours a day. He believes in his teammates. He's all you want and more in a player and a person.
Coach, after this exhilarating victory, how do you ride this momentum into Phoenix?
right now we just focused on enjoying our night. Phoenix is going to be it's definitely going to be a challenge. We know Phoenix. I know Phoenix well, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Well, you obviously have just been head down trying to get back into this thing. First of all, getting to the play-in tournament. But can you appreciate sort of where you come from, starting the year 1-12, and ended up now where you are?
It's hard when you're in it, Ramona. It's just like you said. You put your head down, you work, you try to improve, stay positive, and just try to continue to enjoy life. And so you can't realize what happened until maybe sometime when I step out of it. But right now, we'll enjoy the night, have a good meal. Tomorrow we'll start working on Phoenix.
What does this mean to the city of New Orleans and the fans in New Orleans?
We're so grateful for the city of New Orleans, our fans, our community, the culture there. It means a lot. And we're excited and grateful that we can bring playoff basketball back to the Smoothie King. So we're looking forward to having some games there next week.
Willie, with Brandon early on, mid-range, you're in mid-range, kind of what he's been doing all season. I mean, it seems like you've taken the approach since day one of like in the past they've tried to make him shoot more threes or whatever. You kind of just feel like, hey man, you be you. Just kind of what went into that thought process.
Just exactly what you said is that's who he is. And in order for Brandon to be the best version of Brandon, we have to allow him to be him and create offense around what he does well. And that's what we did. We tried to put him in different spots, move him around, and like I said, it was a lot of him. He's that type of guy where he can do it all, and he put it on display tonight.
We'll get Larry on Zoom.
Yeah, Coach, we got to see the speech you gave the guys, going into the fourth quarter. It seemed like there was a lot of passion, a lot of energy in that speech. Just, what was kind of your mindset, going into that final quarter, seeing where the game was headed, after that third quarter?
It was. It was an emotional game, a ton of highs and lows. But for us, our mentality is that we're going to continue to fight. We're not going to fade out. And that's what I wanted our guys to understand, is that they've earned this moment. They've earned this opportunity. And it's just there for us to go take it, and we have to take it. No matter who is on the floor, we knew that team was going to be tough. But our mindset is that we're here to win a game. And just reminding them of all the work that they put in and challenging them to go out and be the best versions of themselves.
Yeah, you talked all season about the resilience your team has shown, the toughness they've shown. But what's it like seeing this from such a young team, coming up in these moments and responding on this stage?
It's incredible. Once again, these guys, we keep God first in everything that we do. We try to treat each other with respect no matter what our record is. And every day that they come in the gym, they compete. And that's from top to bottom, all of our players, all of our staff. And so we just stay with it, and it's incredible to see the results. And so we're extremely happy. A lot of work to do tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to enjoy this one.
You mentioned that you guys expected that this might be a Larry Nance kind of game. What are some of the things that he does well that kind of cater to this matchup or this game? And what does it say about him to have this kind of performance with the season on the line at stake for you guys after, he's only been playing for like a month or so, actually been on the court in games?
When Larry first got here, we knew he had to have surgery on his knee, but he looked me in my eyes and said, I'll be ready to play by the end of the season. And that said a lot about him. And watching him on the floor, he's a high IQ basketball player. You can put the ball in his hands, and he just makes the right play over and over and over again. And that's on both ends. Defensively, he's talking, he's communicating, and he just allows us to have different looks out there offensively and defensively. We can play JV and go big. We can play Jackson, then we can go small and play Larry. And I think, it adds a different dynamic to our team.
Really, a lot of times when teams are trying to make that leap, they have to make kind of baby steps. But how much does it help that this team is, now they get to play in an actual series, and what can that do for the franchises moving forward?
It's going to be great for us. We're looking forward to lacing it up on Sunday against Phoenix. I don't want to say that I didn't know what was going to happen this season in terms of like where we're going to be, but I definitely believe we had a chance to do something special from the very beginning that I got here. And this team reminded me a lot of Phoenix, young, hungry, but high character guys. And the future is bright.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. You know what? The win was good, but this is the best part of my night. Sharing the stage with Trey Murphy. Sharing the stage with Trey Murphy.
Larry, Willie basically said that, like, he knew coming in this was probably going to be a Larry night just because of the way the Clippers play. Coming in, did you expect, like, okay, they're going to need a lot from me?
I approached it. It's been a struggle getting back in shape, getting back in rhythm from surgery. But I tried to approach this one like I approach every other game. I knew it was going to be with their switch heavy lineups and guard play and wing play, that it was probably going to be a heavier minute night for myself. But I just tried to provide energy and effort, and fortunately that helped us tonight.
Since that trade, it seems like you and CJ both, I mean, really, all in from day one, and just being as honest as I can. I mean, that's not always the case, sometimes here. I mean, why
We were thrilled about it. We were thrilled about it.
Why did you guys feel like, okay, like, we're all in, we're going to make the best of this and, like, really do this thing?
You look at what we got. I mean, this is a situation that anybody can look at from the outside. When I was in Portland, I knew it, and then when I got here, I really knew it. Willie Green's a heck of a coach. I said in the interview out there, we played three rookies. That doesn't happen in big minutes, and they played well. I would never say this to his face, but they played great in this kind of playoff atmosphere and situation. We have Brandon Ingram, who's an all-star at 25 years old. CJ's playing like an all-star and a freak on ice right now. So who wouldn't be thrilled about coming to this situation? This summer I left and left Cleveland, wanted to go to a playoff team, and look, here we sit. So I'm thrilled to be here. Me and CJ both are.
Absolutely. And Trey, Willie said all season shoot. He said tonight, you're saying don't shoot at certain points. Just how did you feel out there? Did it feel like you got into a zone a little bit there?
I can't lie, I didn't hear the don't shoots. No.
They didn't exist.
I get a little tunnel vision when I get open, but just my teammates finding me. Larry was a big part of that. He said he was going to find me. He found me, and I was able to hit shots.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
Yeah, I mean, and just being down at the end of the third quarter, taking their best shot. How do you feel like you guys just collected yourselves after that?
This team is resilient. They started 1-12. Well, I mean 1-12. That's so hard to pick yourself up from, and I wasn't here for that, and so I can't speak to that. But from he was, and I'm sure he will. But the resiliency to start 1-12, I've been in seasons like that. It's hard to keep going and keep striving forward and keep pushing to win, and that's what you saw tonight. It was a resilient bunch.
Yeah, I'll just say, going off of what Larry was just saying, starting off 1-12, 3-16, you're just thinking like, all right, like when is it gonna pick up? And especially being my first year, I don't know what winning looks like, and so us just coming every single day and preparing the same exact way, and keeping the energy in the building was a way that I knew like we're gonna be all right, like because it's a long season and you never know what can happen. And look at us now, we're about to go to Phoenix.
We can move to Zoom questions, please.
Hey, Trey, I mean, you go back to that start. I mean, it wasn't easy for you early in the season, in particular with the minutes. I mean, what does it mean for you to go from where you were then to, playing major minutes in the fourth quarter and hitting these big shots like you were tonight?
It's just growth, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Corey Brewer and Coach Green believed in me in those times to give me that opportunity, and I'm very thankful for that. And it's just a testament to the work that we put in, and my teammates trusted me. That's really what it boils down to.
And this is for both of you. I mean, it looked like Brandon had like a different look in his eye to start the game tonight. What did you kind of see from him early on to kind of set the tempo for you guys in the first quarter?
After starting lineups, when both starting lineups take the court and we do our little handshake pregame, I tell them the same thing every single game: is I don't care who we're playing, you're the best player on the court. I believe it. I saw it in LA. I see it now. I've seen it, even playing against him. He's the best player on the court in whatever court we step on. And tonight he played just like that. And the degree of difficulty on some of the shots he was hitting was unbelievable. I mean, we were sitting there on the bench or even in the game, and he'd take a shot with Terrence Mann and Norman Powell just draped all over him, and Brandon's 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan and a release, that's super high. So he don't really see you he don't really see you. If you miss a shot, it's just because he missed it, not because you played good defense. And so, he was a man on a mission tonight, and just like I tell him every game, he's the best player on the court.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say I'm very happy that he's doing this to other people, because he did this to, a lot to me in Nashville and in practice and in after practice one-on-one. So that's all I have to say. I'm glad he's able to do this to other people too.
This is for both of you guys, but we got to see on TV the speech Willie gave going into the fourth quarter. Just what do you remember about his words and the way you guys responded to it?
You got it.
That was a different side of Willie that I haven't seen, in all honesty. And he got really fired up. Most of the time he was very even-keeled and even demeanored. But he got really fired up and lit into us, and I think it really sparked us in that fourth quarter. And at the end of the day, we just didn't want our season to be over, and we just wanted to keep pushing and keep playing. And so, he definitely spearheaded that.
And for you, Larry, I mean, you talked all year about the resilience this team has shown, the toughness. But what's it like you mentioned, so many young guys being able to respond the way y'all have, and these big moments, like Trey said, they haven't been in this before, but they've been able to respond, time in and time out in these big games.
That's culture. That's culture established from, again, like I said, I wasn't here early, but I can tell you just that how these guys approach the game and how they're willing to play their roles and accept that role and play it for the team's best interest. That it's a culture thing here. I've been a young guy with a rough culture. That's not always the case. And so, Trey coming in knowing exactly, hey, I shoot, I want to play some defense, right? Jose, scrappy, not, he's not trying to ISO and, get into his bag too much. Herb is a first team all defensive player.
First team all
Say
defense.
it again. Hold on, say it again.
First team all defense.
First team all defense.
First team all defense.
First team all defense. Is a first team all defensive player, and he's comfortable. These guys are comfortable in their skin, and that is really hard to do as a rookie and as an NBA player as a whole. Everybody talks about being a star in your role. Not many people do it or want to do it. Trey, Herb, Najee, Jose, everybody that played tonight was a star in their role, and look, even if it was an off night, I had an off night the other night, but we won, so I did my job, right? Jax had an off night the other night, so we won. He did his job. At the end of the day, when we win, everybody's happy and everybody eats, and that's a culture thing that's been established here that is very unique.
Larry, you mentioned how well you know B.I. and just your recognition of how great of a player he is. How rewarding is it for you guys to see him get into the playoffs for the first time, at this point in his career?
I'm just thrilled I could be here with him. Like you said, I got to be with him a little bit in LA, and I got to see the work he put in. And I'll tell everybody that asks, the two hardest workers that I've ever seen in my entire life, one of them is Brandon Ingram. And so he was up. If we had practice at 10, he was there at 8, working out, going through, going through sweating heavy. And by the time we got to practice, he was warmed up and had already had a full workout in. And this was every single day his rookie year. And so to see him at this point, and the fact that I get to help him and do all I can to aid him in this playoff run is, it means the world, and I think the world of him. So, like I said, I don't care who's on the court, what team, what player. Brandon Ingram's the best player on it.
The other one was Kobe.
Colin Sexton. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Colin Sexton, those two.
I don't even know him. I know he was on.
Larry, you being in LA for living here, and you come and play a game of this magnitude, of course with a new squad, is there pros and cons to it? Is it all pros? Just being familiar with it, the court?
Yeah, a little bit. LA, the city will beat a lot of teams in itself. It's just the facts. Guys get here and it's like, oh, we're in LA. You got the weather. You got beautiful people everywhere. It's Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, of course.
I've been here a little bit, so yeah. I was in bed by 10 o'clock last night. I watched me a little movie and got my rest. So, it doesn't necessarily have that effect on me anymore. The lights and whatnot, but yeah, it feels great to first play well against the Lakers and do what we did there, and now do the same thing tonight. So we've had pretty good luck here this year.
Hey guys, congratulations on the win first of all. Trey, speaking about Coach Green, how big is his impact to you and to you as a team, and how his presence helped you to raise the level of your game?
You gotta fix your mic.
I can't lie. Somebody just distracted me. Can you repeat your question again?
He said Coach Green's influence on you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I would say Coach Green has had a really positive influence on me, and he's helped me grow up a lot in my rookie year, probably a lot faster than, I expected at times. And, at the beginning of the year, he told me I would be an important part to this team. There was times where I was down. If I'm going to be honest with you, there was times I was down. I was thinking that, I didn't see where I was going to be in my rookie year. But, he always had faith, and, given the opportunity, I was able to, hit shots. That's what it boils down to. And I was able to work through it and just stay even keeled through everything. And I really appreciate him for it. He's made me a much stronger person throughout this entire year.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We're down 10 going into the fourth. Just how did this team refocus after the third quarter Clippers put together to come back and win that game?
I think we just got back to the basics. I think that was important. We were a little sped up, a little inconsistent with some of our movement, our pace. We weren't being as tough as we needed to be in terms of fighting for our space, giving up offensive rebounds, all the little stuff. And I think we just tightened up. Willie did a great job of keeping everybody calm in the huddle. We moved the ball a little bit more, got out of the ISO situations, and I thought Larry was great. A lot of those guys, they made huge plays. Obviously, B.I. was sensational. Kept us in the game the entire night, made big plays and big passes, and that's why we ended up coming away with the win.
Yeah, as you just said, Larry was huge. What did you think about overall the way he impacted tonight's game?
He was great. He's a guy who understands the game. He's smart. He's athletic. He's strong. I don't know how many rebounds he had, but he changed the game. A lot of offensive rebounds, putbacks, made the right plays in the pocket, hitting the weak side. Young fella Trey Murphy was great. He hit some big shots. A guy who didn't play a lot in the first half was called upon in the second half and was ready to go. JV was in and out because they kept going small. He still impacted the game, and I thought just from top to bottom, everybody did a great job of staying ready. Herb hit some big free throws down the stretch and played great defense throughout the entire game. And I think this was indicative of where this team has come. Starting off 2-13, being down on the road in a hostile environment against a very good team, a well-coached team, and was able to come back.
One of the first things you said when you got here was, seen Brandon Ingram, play lately. Was tonight an example of like a level that guy can get to?
Yeah, he's one of them ones. He's a special player. He gets to his spots. I'm just thankful. Obviously, I get to play alongside him, and I'm happy about that. But I'm glad the world gets to see, how good he truly is. I think oftentimes, if you don't make the playoffs, people kind of forget about you or underestimate your talent. And now he has a chance to play on the biggest stage, and he showed tonight, how great he is. He can get to his spots, get to the rim, he can make plays. Defensively, he's active, engaged, can initiate the offense, 6'9", 6'10", and now he gets to play on the biggest stage, and I'm happy for him.
Brandon seems like a guy who guys who play the game really appreciate what he can do. Do you think that's fair to say? Do you think there's anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's just a skill set that he has, and it's a skill set that he's worked on and developed. From his time at Duke to now, he's a completely different player. Obviously, more polished, more physical, more methodical with his movement. Dribbling into his spots. The footwork, finishing around the basket, and his playmaking. I think his IQ has kind of elevated and evolved, and I think now you're kind of getting the best version of him every night. You're starting to really see the work ethic and everything that he's done up to this point, coming to fruition.
All right, let's go to Zoom.
Hey, CJ, we couldn't hear your first two answers, so I apologize if this was one of the ones that was asked. But as a vet, when the Clippers are kind of throwing that punch, obviously we kind of heard what Willie was saying in the huddle. What are you trying to say to those guys, or what are you trying to do in those moments to try to settle the team down and then into the fourth quarter to kind of get things back on track?
Normally I'll be talking a lot, but I'm battling some stomach issues, so I didn't really talk a lot. I was just trying to catch my breath. But normally, I would just tell the guys to understand it's a long game. I think I talked about it before the first playing game. We're going to be up, we're going to be down, they're going to go on a run, we're going to go on a run. It's more about how we respond to it, and I think we definitely responded well. We didn't pout, we didn't, put our heads down. They got up by 14. They were executing, they were getting into us, they were getting to the free throw line, they were playing off of their fans, and we didn't allow that to affect us, and we kind of, steadied the ship and finished the game.
Yeah, CJ, just what did you think about the way the guys responded in that fourth quarter after, that punch that the Clippers delivered in the third, and just being able to march your way back and get back into it late in the game?
Yeah, it's a sign of growth and maturity, from a young group, which is surprising that you see that type of growth and maturity. Usually teams lay down and fold. I talked about it, after one of our shoot-arounds, how, a lot of times when a team is facing an elimination game and, they begin to let go of the rope, so to speak. They tug of war, they kind of let go and fold. And I thought that we did a great job of holding on to the rope and continuing to fight. It's like a tug of war game, continuing to fight, making sure that we're competing and making sure that we're defending, not giving up second chance opportunities, and then executing a little bit better offensively. And I thought we did that down the stretch.
Yeah, it wasn't just a young team kind of in this moment. It was a young coach, right? This is Willie's first experience doing this, and he said kind of matching wits with Ty Lue in that second half. Felt like a heavyweight fight at some point. Just, what did you think about the way he kind of rose to the moment in that fourth quarter and matched the adjustments Ty Lue was throwing at you guys?
I thought he handled himself well. He showed great moxie. He challenged us. He challenged me specifically to be more aggressive, more methodical. And I can appreciate that and respect that. And I think that him having played for so long, he understood the importance of this moment. He understood what this moment meant, for our team, our young players, our franchise, and our fans. And we wanted to really take advantage of this. We got a long summer ahead, and we can rest in the summer. But right now, we got to fight and do what we can to kind of, continue to extend our season.
CJ, I hope these weren't asked when we couldn't hear part of it earlier, but I wanted to ask you about the two guys off the bench. I mean, in just the time that you've been here, you've seen Trey Murphy make a huge jump. What did you think of just the way that, for a guy in his rookie year to be able to come through the way he did in the fourth quarter?
I think that shows, work ethic and preparation. He's been in and out of lineup. He's been in the G League some. Sometimes he's in the game. Sometimes he's not. Played some in the first half. Then didn't play a lot in the second quarter. Then the coach throws him in. That's a sign of trust, but also him being ready. He catch and shoot. He got some offensive rebounds. Got to the free throw line. It gives us a different dynamic because of his ability to shoot. And I think the other team recognizes that. And tonight, he stepped up and made some great plays for us.
As far as Larry goes, I mean, he's only been playing with the team less than a month. I mean, what did you think of just for him to be able to do what he did tonight?
He was great. I think that, first time out, he told me I'm here. I said that. I said, well, if I'm not going to show up, you have to. And he did a great job of being aggressive. He was rebounding. He was athletic. I think he's just getting more comfortable, too, understanding that he's coming off an injury, where he wasn't able to practice. He's learning a new offense, new city. We're both away from our families. So there's a lot of different variables that make this transition difficult. And I think he's kind of settling in, finding his rhythm, finding his basketball rhythm, and getting more comfortable playing in space. And tonight he was huge. Without him, we don't win this game tonight.
Thanks again. Thanks, man. Willie was saying, like, you could just kind of tell, like, on the flight here or shoot around, like, you had a look in your eye. Just how locked in, did you feel coming into this game?
These 2 games in the play-in, I've been very locked in. Just trying to know everything about the other team, figure out what they really, really do well, and try to figure out how I can be effective on the offensive end. And my approach is just trying to be the aggressor and trying to make sure that my team is our guys are being the aggressors too on the offense and defensive end, and just staying consistent throughout the game.
Yeah, considering how this season started, how good does it feel that a couple months later, like, you guys have made it all the way back and you're going to the playoffs?
We've been resilient. Willie stayed positive throughout the season, no matter if we won or lost, and we continue to worry about ourselves, how we can get better, how we can continue to build wins for the organization, and knowing that this isn't just for this year, this continues to go on, but we stay in the moment and we continue to get better.
Yeah, took a huge punch from the Clippers in the third quarter, down 10 going to the fourth. How do you think you guys just, like, collected yourselves and got back into that game in the fourth?
Guys stepped up. Trey Murphy was big in that fourth quarter, maybe even in the third quarter. Just defensive rebounding and knocking down shots, and we're going to need that from him as we continue to go on. For him to knock shots down, be ready, and continue to learn the game. Larry Nance came in and was really, really good on the offensive and defensive glass and making smart decisions. So we needed something from everybody today.
Willie said after the game, he said Brandon Ingram was the truth. I think all season long, like, you could just tell, like, he just really believes in you. Does that give you confidence? How does it make you feel, just like knowing, you have that bond, I guess, with the head coach like that?
It's a great feeling. I get to tell him whatever's on my mind, whatever I feel in the game, and he gives a good response every single time. He listens. So it's great to have that and the continued dialogue. He makes me a better person and a better basketball player. So we continue to keep going.
All right, let's go to Will Guillory on Zoom.
Yeah, B.I., we heard you talk about it a little bit after the game, but just what does it mean to you to have your first opportunity to play in the playoffs and get to show what you can do on that stage?
To God be the glory. It's our time, and all the work that we put in every single day, all the work that we put in the summer, we finally get to showcase it on the biggest stage. So I'm excited. I know my teammates are excited. Willie is excited. You should see Jose dancing behind this screen right now. I know he's excited. It's going to be fun.
And we got to see the speech on TV, but, just what were you thinking heading into that fourth quarter? The words Willie said to you guys in the huddle just looked like, a different type of attitude, different type of passion than what we're used to seeing from Willie. What were you kind of thinking when he was giving that speech?
That we got to win this basketball game. That's the only thing that's going through my mind. How I can be effective in the last 6 minutes in the game, and how I can be aggressive and make the best decisions on the basketball floor. And everyone bought into that. Everyone on the floor made good decisions on the floor. We were really good on the defensive end, and we just executed our offense.
Hey, B.I., great game, great win, first of all. For you personally, how do you enjoy to play with those teammates, with sharing the court with those teammates, and what did you see as the ceiling of this team from your perspective?
This team is different, We get a chance to be together off the floor and really like each other and be around each other. I think that's why we play so well and we're so loose on the basketball floor. I haven't been around a team like that since maybe high school. We all got young guys, even some of the older guys are just really in tune with what we're doing. So it's fun. It's fun playing with these guys and trying to gut out and get wins. We really play for each other.
Thanks, B.I.
I got one question. Where you gonna be at Sunday? Tomorrow?
Huh? Where we gonna be at tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Ain't it?